Bing, boing, bing. Everybody has a story to tell with Toddy One Skip. So it is with great sadness that while I was making this video, unfortunately Anne Heche has passed away. They pulled her off of life support. I do want to say that before we pass judgment and say a bunch of things, I know that Anne tested positive for cocaine. Fentanyl is up for debate because that could have been administered to her from the hospital staff. But there's such a thing as there could have been something wrong with the car. There's sticky accelerators. I've experienced that myself, sticky accelerator pedal. All this in saying that maybe there was something wrong with the car. We shouldn't jump to the conclusion that it was drugs and that that's what caused this. Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. I want to talk a little bit about Anne Heche. I want to go on the record to say that I haven't really been a big fan of Anne Heche. I know that she's won Daytime Emmy Awards for playing twins in a soap opera that I didn't watch. Because I watched ABC soap operas. And I'm older than Anne Heche. She was actually born May 25th. I'm born May 24th. I think she was born in 1969 in Ohio in an Amish community. And I think she was the youngest of 5. But that's just a little bit of background. What brought Anne Heche into my gaydar was when she started dating Ellen DeGeneres. But I didn't really notice her in Donnie Brasco or a lot of the roles. I just didn't. I did like her in the movie with Harrison Ford, where that's a romantic comedy. I forget the name of that movie. I'll find it. But so, not that I have any vested interest in this woman, except to say that when somebody dies, the first thing I think about is who are they leaving behind. And this woman is dying, and she's leaving behind 2 kids. She's leaving behind a 20-year-old and a 14-year-old boy. And I have to say, when I did a little bit of research on Anne Heche, she really had it hard. I mean, she really struggled to survive. And she was so unhappy that she did. She self-medicated. And there's a lot of people that self-medicated. I used to self-medicate. I smoke pot. Am I self-medicating? Pulling that and saying, don't pass judgment. You know what I'm saying? We watched this woman speed. I mean, speed. She could have killed a pedestrian, right? And then the whole story would have changed, obviously, right? But the bottom line would still be there was a woman struggling in that car. A woman struggling in that car that we used to make fun of. And that I'm sure at some point we're going to make fun of again, because that's what people do when their life is shit. They shit on weaker people. So they're bullies, right? You know, if you do look at Anne Heche's life, you see how much she struggled and how hard it is. I mean, she came into my gaydar radar when she started dating Ellen DeGeneres, who I was a semi-fan of, who I'm no longer a fan of because I've heard what an awful person she can be by too many people to say that this is just a fluke. The power of math. But Anne, she just, she would leave one person for another person. She left Ellen because she met somebody on the set of a comedy thing that Ellen was doing. And then she left him for somebody that she met on another movie scene. And this cries out somebody who's looking for something to make them happy and hasn't found it yet. You know, and listen, therapy, I believe in therapy. I go to therapy. but I also want to try to live a better life. I don't think so much that we should criticize the people that maybe either aren't strong enough or just don't have the desire to try. You know, maybe we shouldn't criticize them. Maybe we should be a little bit more compassionate to them and just help without judgment. Right? That's an idea. Let's help without judgment. You know, I have a theory about the grass is always greener on the other side. There's the same amount of dog shit over there that there is on the side you're on. So stay where you're at. But both of the relationships when she left Ellen produced children. So 2 kids. This woman's leaving 2 kids behind, like I said. Her struggle with addiction was her way to cope each day. Like, there was allegations that she was sexually abused by her dad, and her dad was a homosexual. And she was asked, well, how does a homosexual man abuse, you? And she said he was a sexual deviant. We're so quickly easy to label things so that we can come to understand it in our minds. Ours is one mind out of billions of minds. Why do you think your mind is 100% correct? I know my mind isn't 100% correct. It can't be. That's the process of growing and learning. But you have to do that in like a safe environment. And right now, it's very toxic out here in the United States. At least in the United States, it's very toxic out here. So the reason why I wanted to comment on this video is because the interviews that people have said about Anne Heche is that she has this amazing, incredible heart, and that she's got a beautiful soul. And I do believe it's hard to get by in this world like that without any kind of barrier, any kind of safety. You know, her 20-year-old son is the one that has to deal with, and he obviously made the decision that, we're going to pull her off the ventilator and we're going to donate her organs. And I can already hear the jokes about that. I can already hear that. We need to think about that. We need to watch how we behave. Everything that we do, it can be caught on tape, it can be recorded, and we're held accountable for it even 20 years from now, which is a whole other thing I don't know. People should be allowed to change and evolve, and it seems like we don't want them to sometimes. There's enough shit in this world. I don't understand why we keep attacking each other, to be honest with you. I don't. And, the sad thing is that little snippet of Anne getting out or trying to get off the stretcher. That's the thing that's gonna. But that's the last thing that her kids saw of her moving too, because they've probably been laying next to a lifeless Anne, and those are her children. And the 20-year-old one is the one that has to deal with. He's the one that's making decisions and such. I was 58 when I lost my dad. You're never ready to lose a parent. You're just not. Especially suddenly like that. You just, you figure you have a little bit of time, you got stuff to say. These kids don't get that. If you woke up this morning, your life is better than Anne Heche's life and her kids. So, do something with your life, right? Because here was a woman who wasn't a poor woman. And she could buy anything, right? Anything. And she was still unhappy. She was an Emmy winner, a daytime Emmy winner playing twins. She was a well-respected actress. Just because I wasn't a fan of hers and wasn't aware of her, it doesn't mean she wasn't, you know, she was. All this in saying that regardless, regardless of rich, poor, if you're unhappy, it doesn't go anywhere. You can buy tons of shit. Ask Michael Jackson. You can't, right? You can't. And it's so sad. It's so sad. Because we're going to remember the jokes and that horrible scene that I wish I didn't see. And remake. She was just like us. And we're just like us inside. We are just like us inside.
Has long been her choice to donate her organs.
I decided I'm going to be the best mom, and oh, that was a cue.
I know. You are.
Oh, I love.
We have to be kinder to each other. We have to be kinder in this world to each other, because when that's all we have, when everything else goes away, all this material shit goes away, it's just us standing here. You can't take the fucking material shit with you. Be kinder. Leave that behind. I don't mean to get, this is my channel, I can do what I want, and I do mean to get passionate, because people are fucking mean. People are rude. People are hurtful. And one is too many. If you're one, stop! One is too many. I know that if you can change your mind, and you can, you know, as long as you're not mentally unbalanced, or seriously, I'm not making fun. I'm serious. As long as you have a functional mind and you have reason, if you can change your mind to not dread on the shit, but instead look to the future, to where you want to be, for the motivation to move you forward, do that. I promise you, your life will get better, because your attitude changes it. You could live in Disney World in your fucking head, or you can live in hell. You can decide what to think about and move it to something positive. Don't dwell on the bad. Don't make fun of people. Don't have rage right away. Calm yourself down. If you can't calm yourself down for 10 seconds, something is wrong. You know, we respond on the internet. We write things. I'm guilty of the same thing. We have to have better control of what we put out in the world that represents who we are inside. You know? And let's move that forward with the loss of Anne Heche, who I believe in God, so Godspeed. I pray her children can use her loss, their loss, because it's their loss. I pray it motivates them and inspires them to go in a positive direction, because it's hard in this world. Anyway, here you go. I'm not the salesperson, but like, subscribe, hit that bell. I don't know where we're going, but come for the ride. Have a great day. Be better than you were the last time I saw you. Because we have control over that. That's the only thing we have control over is our actions. Not what we think, not what we feel, but how we let that out and show it to the world. That's all we have control over. So let go of everything else that we don't have control over and focus on the one thing you can actually do something about. And if you give that much focus to all that other bullshit, there's no doubt in my mind that if you put your mind to something, you're going to get there.
Ellen and I had a little bit different twist on the story of what we were fighting for 20 years ago and fighting for equality, and I'm so thrilled to have been by her side. What I was talking about was a little bit more of a concept that love is a choice. And I made one, and it was one of the most life-changing choices of my life. And I stand up for that more than I would do the same thing all over again. This is a time and an opportunity for me to be able to say that I believe love is a choice. And we all should support everyone to have their own private life and do what they want to do if they're experiencing a little bit of joy with another person.
Bing, boing, bing. Everybody has a story to tell with Toddy One Skip. Thanks for listening.